What's up, guys? Today we're going to be breaking into some Vue.js. I'm just going to show you something from the Vue.js site that shows how to make a button that does a very simple function. So this button we're going to make is literally just going to add a number whenever we click it. But I'm going to break down the code that we have here, how we constructed it, where I got it, and how all of that works. I'm also going to break down how to use Atom, which is just your text editor. That's where you put all your code, and give a very basic breakdown on what we're doing here. Alright, so first things first, you're gonna have to go and get Atom. So Atom is just a program. You're just gonna download it like any other. You're just gonna go Atom, and then you're gonna atom.io, bam. You're just gonna hit download. It's automatically gonna detect what version you have and everything, and you're just gonna start it up and just go, right? Easy enough, right? So when you get that set up, right, we're gonna be working with Vue.js. So Vue.js is a JavaScript programming system, language, whatever you want to call it. Their site has a full breakdown of the documentation, and so don't really think of the documentation as like the user's manual or like the instruction manual, but think of it as like a place where you can go and you can actually find code that will give you also like a description of how that code works. So on the tiniest level. So right here, what we got was this code right here. So this is exactly what we have over here. So this right here is essentially HTML and JavaScript mixed together. So this is our HTML, right? And this is our JavaScript. And what we did is we put that in an HTML file. So why do we do that, right? So you can put JavaScript in an HTML file and run it. So that's how that works, okay? Inside of Atom, you can do this thing where you, on the tab right here, packages, you go to Atom Live Server, and then you can start up your server right here, okay? And that's what's over here on the right hand side, okay? This is how we're seeing the code. So once you turn that on, like if I stop this right now, I go over here and I hit start, then here in just a second, it's gonna pop up, okay? So like here is where we are, right? Here's where we need to be, bam, okay? So whatever you have, it will open up, if that makes sense. Right? All you have to do is go to packages, get that Atom Live Server, and then hit start, right? So I'm pretty sure this is an add-in, which all you have to do is just go and add this package to, it's like an add-on to Atom, so not a big deal, right? So let's get back to the code. So the code, what we have here is we're using two things. So the first one is Bootstrap. And Bootstrap is your CSS library, so it makes stuff look pretty and cool. And then the second thing that we have is our link to Vue.js, right? So this is how we're able to use Bootstrap and Vue, right? All you have to do is put a link to it. So here's the link for Bootstrap, and then here's the link for Vue. Now, you don't have to use this exact link. All you have to do is go into Google and type in CDN Bootstrap, CDN Vue.js, and then use those links, okay? So the best way to explain what you'll get when you go to the first link on that is you're gonna get, let me just do it, Vue.js CDN, click here. Right? So this just gives you the access to this code library so that you can use that JavaScript, if that makes sense. So this is giving you the ability to actually use these tools. So that's the first two things in our file. We have right here, Bootstrap, Vue.js. I just absolutely explained that so much, okay? So the first one will be just a link. This is the HTML link, and then script, right? Because we're referencing JavaScript. Cool, 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 cool. All right, so the next thing we got, right? We have a div. And so what's a div? A div is just like a box. It's like it's just intangible. Hey, here's a space where we're gonna put some code, right? So in there we have a button, right? That's basically saying when we click this, the counter is going to add 1 to that, right? So that's what this is supposed to do. Awesome, right? And then this is just a message that says, that has a filler right here, and these 2 little curly brackets, that's what they're called. Curly bracket, these things right here, right? Inside here, this is how you put what number the counter is at. So that is what this is. So you see how that's dynamically changing, right? So that's what that is. That this item right here is a dynamic reflection of how many times you have clicked this button, right? And that's inside a P, which is just, you know, basic, like a placeholder. It's just like a little place you put text, right? And this is not very technical. This is all just in layman's terms. All right, so, which is the only way I understand anything. So this script right here, okay? So down here we've got the script, and so this is what actually does, this is the program, like this is what actually makes this happen. So inside your script, you make a variable, and then you put new view, right? And this is kind of how you kick off using Vue.js, right? So your variable, example 1, right? And do you see that these match, right? So this div right here that you have with this button in it, that's what that's reflecting. That's what that's saying, like, hey, connect these 2, basically, right? Then we have a new view, right? And then the element is going to be example 1, right? And then the data that we're going to have in there is a counter. This thing right here, counter, and counter. They're both right there, right? It's also right here, right? This data that is 0, add 1 to it. So if I refresh this, it starts at 0, and then on click, when you click it, add 1, right? So that's just kind of the description of like what all of this code is saying, because you can look at it and you'd be like, a v dash on, what does that mean? It just means that when this gets clicked, that it's gonna add 1, okay? So cool. We're gonna break into something a little bit more in depth, which I kind of already showed you. Remember when this button was blue? All right, awesome. So what we're gonna get into now is actually making buttons look cool. So on the Bootstrap site, the documentation over there, what we have over there is exactly kind of like what we just had going on over at Vue, right? So this is a way to make the buttons look different, right? So if I want this green one, success button, right? These are the examples, this is the code, right? So you'll see button over here and button over here, right? All I have to do is copy this class right here. All right, so that's how Bootstrap works. You make things have classes, which is basically a way to organize things in HTML. It's sort of how it's used, right? That's what a class is. So you type some stuff in the class, and then it's like, oh, I look a different way now, right? That's how Bootstrap works. So I just put in button secondary. So I'm actually use the secondary button just to show you this first off. Bam, now it looks like a secondary button. Awesome, right? Cool. So let's go ahead and do info button, right? I'm just gonna grab button info, right? And I'm just gonna change that over. Bam, so that's how it is, right? So this is a really cool way just to like show you basically, okay, we're working with Vue.js, we're working with Bootstrap to make everything look good. And now I have a program that adds a number. So like, what could you use this for? You know, so many things. This is just kind of the basic building blocks of how this code looks, where to go and get the code to start building stuff like this, and then how it all kind of runs together. And this is all you need to do to get this to work, right? So I I may have left out a couple of things, but if you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section below on this video.